Other cool thing about this, I mean, in terms of how big of a game changer this is for
Hmm.
your health, for your immunity, we're
Totally.
talking minor dollars for testing. We're talking minor dollars for actually buying something. Now, we're still going to advise you to go with the more professional product just because that's what we're going to use clinically. That's what we're going to sell to people. So we still do want you to get a good quality product, but in a pinch, could you get away with something just a typical store-bought brand? Probably so. We just have a lot of sensitive people, so we're going to want to avoid a lot of the fillers. You'll see soybean oil sometimes. You'll see other things that we don't like in some of the cheap brands. So we're going to try to get you just like a straight D3, possibly with a little bit of gelatin, but even sometimes we're going to do like a veggie cap when you've got maybe a little bit of cellulose. But
MCT oil or olive oil, some kind of a healthier fat versus, like you mentioned, a soy or something more junky or more like polyunsaturated.
yeah, but once again, I mean, you're looking at in general, I know some of the professional brands you and I use cost wise, you're looking at like 50 to 60 bucks for 6 months. So, I mean, you're talking maybe 10 bucks a month, and that's for like professional quality. And there are liquid versions that you can use for children as well. I've got both of my kids taking vitamin D. Now, we do give them some different cod liver oils and omegas. So you can get some vitamin D naturally from some of the
Yep,
cod liver oils. You can get a few thousand IU, but we are still doing a little bit of extra K1, K2, and D3 for the kids. And that's easy. And my daughter calls it hummingbird food because it's clear, just like our hummingbird food, and it tastes a little sweet. So she loves that. It's like her favorite part of the day.
yeah, because it's got a tiny bit of stevia in there, right? And then you also have, it's clear liquid vitamin like the MCT oil in there. That's
Yeah,
funny. Good,
yeah,
excellent. Yeah. So 100% on that. I would say supplementally, like you mentioned, cod liver oil, very good. You can also look at other fat soluble vitamins. The other ones may be vitamin A, right? So if you're doing high quality ghee or grass fed butter, you're probably getting a good amount of vitamin A in there, especially if you're doing some in your tea or coffee in the morning. If you're eating good grass fed beef and you're doing good quality pasture egg fed egg yolks, then you're going to be set on a lot of that. If you want some additional insurance, you can do some cod liver oil, like I mentioned. You can get a vitamin D that has some vitamin A in it, or just use some of the extra cod liver oil and get some good egg yolks in, and you'll probably be totally fine with that. Anything else you want to add, Evan?
yep. I would just encourage people not to do. Yeah, I would say I just encourage people not to do the conventional D2 supplement that you're going to get from a local doctor. For example, if you ask your doctor down the road to give you some vitamin D, they're probably going to give you D2. They may give you like a 50,000 IU or possibly even like 100,000 IU that you're going to get from a pharmacy. It's going to be loaded with a bunch of binders and fillers. And we find that just those really high doses for a few days don't really do as much as a lower dose over a longer period of time. So it's not where you just come in and do 100,000 for a week and you're cured. No, you really need to just optimize it over a slower period of time.
Yeah, like myself, I'm not going to lie. I'll do sometimes 40 or 50 once a week to kind of keep my levels pretty good. But I think it just kind of depends on where you're at, right? So if for some reason you forget to do your vitamin D, I'd rather have people do it like at least once a week so it's there, because it is a fat soluble vitamin, so it will kind of build up in your system. It's not like a B vitamin where you'll just pee it out. But ideally, every day is good, especially in the morning time, because think about it, you wouldn't naturally make vitamin D in the middle of the night or at nighttime if you're taking it, right? You'd make it more in the morning to afternoon. So take it more in the morning and afternoon, right? That makes more sense to me from a kind of day in, day out, how vitamin D would be made in general. And then the other thing is, if you missed it or you forget it, I think doing it, at least getting it in there once a week as a fat soluble vitamin, just make sure you test, make sure you're doing well on that.